wholeheartedly takes the phrase me, myself, and I to a whole nother level. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Tales Showcase, where we got Thors coming out of our ears over here! I'm your host, the Watcher of New Earth. Thor's Day returns in the midst of Avengepril as we return to the only storyline that feels longer than the wait for Endgame. For those of you unfamiliar with this story, however, maybe take a time out and check out the previous videos. If that's not your style though, here's a quick recap. This guy wants to kill all gods, and it's up to this idiot, this less stupid idiot, and this much stupider idiot to stop him. You're missing a few plot points, but you basically got the gist of it now. So now that we're all caught up, let's begin. This is Thor, God of Thunder, number 7.
We get a brief glimpse of Gorr the God Butcher as the youngest Thor snaps awake in a bed with two village women. Still haunted by the torture he suffered at Gorr's hands, Thor is unable to sleep and thinks about heading out to find Gorr, who he doesn't believe dead. As he's heading out, one of the women stands ready to fight, claiming she fights as she makes love, naked and in a berserker rage.
Wow, a badass feminist Viking. And people will tell you that history is boring. Also, ladies, if you use that line next to your partner and they don't immediately fall to their knees and beg you to marry them, girl, dump that dead weight, you don't need them.
Thor decides to stay for another romp in the hay, but a yell soon pierces the night sky. In the far future, modern-day Thor talks with his older self, having accidentally traveled through time prior to this. Confused and frightened as to what this bleak, empty future means, Thor pesters his older self as he is led to Hlidskjalf.
Hlidskjalf. Don't give me that look like you can pronounce everything at IKEA.
The older Thor reveals that he is now the Allfather, which allows him access to this telescope with a seemingly unpronounceable name. However, he seems confused as to what era this Thor comes from, asking whether he's an Avenger, Guardian of the Galaxy, or if he's become a cosmic god cop yet.
Okay, firstly, spoilers. Secondly, Thor as a cosmic god cop? Yeah, that sounds awesome! You know, I'd actually stop my push for a Thor Ghostbusters crossover if you'd let me make that, Marvel. You know, he'd be like a Green Lantern patrolling planet to planet, but every issue has to end with another reference to another cop-related intellectual property. You know, I will drop anything and everything to work on this. I'm that dedicated, Marvel. I can work at your offices, or I can work from here in my secure bunker 20,000 feet under your offices. Your move, Marvel.
Old Thor determines it's now an optimal time to attack the God Butcher as his army has been recalled. He goes to make himself ready and allows younger Thor to do the same in a room he was never previously allowed in. He opens it to find hundreds upon hundreds of crates of alcohol.
And you know what that means. Shot, 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 shot. Everybody! Except it can't be everybody, because everybody's dead. It's just Thor. Every Thor then shot, 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 shot.
Back in the past, the Butcher's berserker dogs fight against a younger and much more naked Thor. While he holds his own, the dogs use a crystal infused with the blood from the gods of Kronux, which was a plot point from earlier. The blood transports him into the far future, where Gorr greets him as his favorite Thor.
Please, that's not even his mother's favorite Thor.
Thor, unaware he's just time traveled, prepares to attack, but is quickly overwhelmed as Gorr commences torturing him once again. Back with the other Thors, they prepare to leave as old Thor reveals that the Butcher has kidnapped all other Asgardians to build something on the other side of the galaxy, leaving him stranded and alone on Asgard. The Thors then board a flying Viking ship, which I hope you realize is insanely amazing, as they prepare for the battle ahead.
See you on the other side, Thor. Nice working with you, Thor.
As the Thors take off on their quest, young Thor is finally freed of his torture and put back to work with the rest of the enslaved gods. Back in the present day, however, the librarian from before is trying to sort out the mess left behind by Thor and the Berserkers. The security, meanwhile, is advising him to not let his books be burned in the future.
Wow. Victim blaming. Nice. Real nice. Next, you're gonna say those pages were asking for being so flammable.
The librarian then turns his attention to Shadrach, who is still a babbling mess who can't decide what he's the god of. When the librarian begins threatening him, Shadrach cries and says he didn't want to help the butcher. The librarian tells him to clarify, and Shadrach says that he's actually the god of bombs. And the comic ends with the young Thor finally seeing the colossal bomb the butcher has prepared as his final weapon.
And that was Thor, God of Thunder number 7. And like all the prior issues, it's fantastic. And like all the other prior issues, I'm not going to talk about it at length until we actually finish the whole storyline. So, let's just cut it short here by saying it's amazing. Everybody should read it. Please stay tuned for more Avengepril through the rest of the month. As always, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. This is the Watcher of New Earth, signing off. Shot, 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 shot. Why, yes, I am a bit of a party animal. Why do you ask? Hi, I'm the Watcher of New Earth. If you like that video, hit that subscribe button, maybe even the bell icon. It probably does something, right? I mean, YouTube hired someone to put it there, so the least we could do is show appreciation by hitting it.